Hello there, welcome to the channel. This is Divine Heartfire and my name is Vivian Moon. In this reading, we're going to be looking in depth at the dynamics of your twin flame connection. And when I say dynamics, I'm meaning what's underneath the surface, what's going on emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and what kind of medicine or healing balm does this connection need to come into union. So assessing the possibility of union, definitely at this point in time. I'm going to be channeling light language from the ancient Lemurians, those sacred inner earth beings that are the essence of our mother. So with each pile, there's going to be light language blessings, and I'll be getting visions from those as well, pertaining to your connection and the specific energies that are going on there. So the way this reading works is, since I've got this juicy crystal grid in the middle here, we're going to do group 1 and group 2, each with an oracle deck and a tarot deck. Now, if you're like me and you already picked a deck, then what you're going to do is, like, say you pick this deck, you're going to watch group 2, but you're going to pay special attention to messages that come through from that deck. So that's how this reading works. And it's going to be definitely a reading that is mostly about the sacred initiation into the great mysteries as it pertains to the twin flame relationship. So now is the time for you to kind of like absorb these energies as you've been called to this video. So trust yourself in whatever decision that you make for group 1 and group 2. The timestamps are going to be in the description of the video, and I will see you there in your reading. Hey there, group 1. So first I'm going to tell you a little bit about these crystals, and then I'm going to channel some light language for you. Okay, so I think it's really interesting because it's like we have the sun and the moon represented here, because this is my mother goddess, Smoky Quartz, who does not like to be seen on camera very often. So it's a very special occasion when she decides to come out. So I'm already really excited to see what messages come through from this deck in particular. But this is my sun. So this is my palm stone. It's a selenite palm stone, and I really see it as the sun because it clears the energy. This one clears energy too in a different way through transmutation, but this one kind of just clears it through absorbing it and just like blasting it with light. I guess that's the best way that I can describe the way that selenite works. It's kind of like, where does that energy go? The selenite just kind of clears itself. Whereas this one, I really feel like transmutes the energy through its own body. And like, there's just like a very ever so slight difference, because when this one, the energy just pops and goes away. And with this one, it actually goes in one end a dense energy and out the other end a light energy. So that's a cool theme already. You want me to keep the crystals on while I do the light language. So Boyana ki, Boyana ki, Boyana ki, Watana, Malagana Tarini, Makana Shoriana, Yayondra Taterini, Humra Tatarina, Yania Tistini, Awarakana Shea de She, Umuingarea Neoriana, Riana, Dianagera, Moria Neorana, Riangarea, Nonore Angere, Yania de Ducania, Oracania, Doriana, Rishora. That was a very interesting vision. Okay, so in terms of this connection, this is how things are going right now. I saw a vision of children dancing around the maypole, right? So the solstice energies are coming up, the summer solstice, but the maypole is all about the Beltane energies, and Beltane is all about divine union, right? So it's like you have these inner children, like divine feminine inner children dancing around the maypole, and then it's like dark clouds, the sun goes black, and there's this huge demon. And then my first instinct was to call and protect those children, call in angels, call in the light. So I called in these angels, And of course, not all demons are dark. I just wanted to mention that. But this one was. It was very like evil looking and big. So a bunch of angels came down on this devil and started to just like blink it out of existence. Like put it, like bubble it in a sphere of light and blink it out of existence. But what I'm hearing is like that's the Judgment card energy. It's like the Six of Cups in a way, the Judgment, almost like Ace of Wands, Five of Wands energy. So like Five of Wands, but in a playful way. So like playful conflict or like playing games too. And clearing that energy, clearing the energy of the other shoe dropping and danger coming, and the forcefulness of the material realm. Like I'm just kind of feeling that through my right foot. So the stagnation of not being able to feel like you can move forward, especially when it comes to enjoyment and play. But then angels coming in, like right when you think the sun has gone dark, right? Angels coming in, swooping in, so divine intervention in this connection. And they want me to read into this first, and they want this card first. The World in reverse. So yeah, this process of judgment or healing or whatever, or union, because this is union right here. This card really represents union. And I was told that I should put a card aside for myself from this Mary Magdalene deck, and I'm gonna pull one for you too. But it was the World, and this one shows the great goddess Sophia standing on her own. Also has a Jupiter symbol, and so this Jupiter symbol, to me it represents expansion through the great goddess energy of Sophia, and union through the great goddess energy of Sophia. And that's what this connection needs, is much more of the sort of the compassionate goddess energy. It's like she's got this kind of like star crown on. This is talking of the book of Revelation too. So I just want to read, I'm just interested because I want to hear what it says here. The tarot history symbol of divination believes this to be the representation of a new Jerusalem, God's kingdom come to earth, like thy kingdom come. This is feeling a little heavy for those of you who may have had Christian indoctrination, so I apologize for that, but I really love this description. So yeah, God's kingdom, which is the mystical reward described in the climax of the book of Revelation. So it's like this connection is being rewarded for not allowing the darkness to take over, is what I'm hearing. Specifically the divine feminine. But on both sides, like because of that connection, it's like both counterparts are doing this, not allowing the darkness to take over. I was also just drawn to the ego where it says Scorpio. So it could be that your person is a Scorpio, or Scorpio is a particular archetype that you need to heal around right now. So let's talk about that. Scorpio can talk of like being hedonistic is what I just heard, but in the sense of like sex and like being close and possessive of each other. It also speaks of control and enmeshment a little bit, or a lot, it depends. But this is what this connection is healing from. It's also potentially healing from third parties, which most twin flames are healing from third parties. You want me to roll for that? Okay, so we have the star, 17, a reminder that any karmic counterparts are also divine counterparts for a reason, and to keep the faith in this connection, because it really feels like this connection is coming into union. 16, though, the tower, could be that the karmic is sort of broken away. Yeah, 17 reversed. But that the counterpart who's watching isn't totally faithful, or someone was unfaithful at some point, possibly, or didn't believe in the connection. 14 sideways says half belief. So somebody or both counterparts held like a half belief about this connection, because Sophia to me represents that total faith and trust in the universe, of being held by the universe. Also, the 4 fixed signs relate to the cherubim, the guardians of the Akashic records. So somebody here is like really tapped into those Akashic records. Also, or both counterparts are. the circle of life, and this is also the seraphim energies. When I think of like the total like infinite closest to God energy, it's like that rainbow serpent energy. So high angelic energies coming through in this reading, like I'm already like sweating. Yeah, the mystical prophet Ezekiel later described a vision experienced by the and later similarly in the Revelation of John. At first the beast was like a lion, the second beast was like a calf, and the third beast had the face of a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. Wow, okay. So telling me that this connection, right, rising from the ashes like a phoenix with that expansion, Jupiter over the Scorpio energy. The Scorpio energy is now being embodied with the energy of transformation in this connection on both sides. Yeah, 17 again when I said that. I've rolled 17 3 times in this reading already. And that's the star card. And it's on the masculine die. So the masculine is having this awakening. Right? And the girls dancing around the maypole, they don't have to worry anymore. This guy right here. They want the first card. 5 of Wands, right? When I said that when I was talking about the maypole. 5 of Wands is talking about like, okay, the reason why there's this energy of like, you feel that there's going to be a completion of the old cycle of what's been happening is going to stop, and that this connection is going to reach another level of understanding and frequency. Which can include reconciliation, but there's a definite big delay on that. Okay, even if there doesn't want to be, the Hanged Man in reverse. I'm hearing since this deck really represents the Divine Feminine, it's actually on the Divine Feminine side that this delay is occurring. And so a lot of Divine Feminines watching may be like, that's not true, but it's because this anger energy, this fear energy of the demon coming over the children dancing around the maypole, that's what's being cleared. That fear, that hedginess, that anger, that worry. 10 of Swords, yeah. The inner child is being protected right now from this maybe potential reconciliation. Someone coming forward with an offer. I don't like to say it's either just the masculine coming forth with an offer just because it's the Knight of Cups, because Knight of Cups also has a feminine energy. But it most likely is the transformed masculine coming forward, especially with a Scorpio energy around here, or Pisces with this fish jumping out of the water. I was also shown a vision the other night for somebody I was reading for, where it was like this puddle, where there's like an energy of like, sometimes it's shallow depending on who's looking into the puddle, and sometimes it's deep, like it's a magical puddle. So you would think that this puddle looks shallow because of the horse's foot that's on the edge of it, but the fish jumping out of the middle of it tells me that it's actually deeper. So feelings were deeper than somebody thought, and now there is a control, there's becoming control over. So this is also the masculine within the feminine counterpart, having a conscious realization that feelings aren't over. There's still that strong connection. There's still desire. And that the lion is being tamed. So lion's the divine masculine, but it's also this sense of like the masculine having control over their own animal nature with this particular deck and this particular card, because it's a masculine like figure in the deck, which again doesn't mean that, because it's like regardless of gender and physical biology. They said one more card from this deck. Ace of Cups in reverse. Yeah, so those deep feelings, right? This deep puddle is more like an actual ocean. And the feminine isn't ready to be vulnerable yet because of the anger and the fear of like control. The fear of enmeshment that's deep down, right? It's like deep down under the surface that needs to be explored, okay? So this was coming up right now for this deck, but with 5 of Pentacles in reverse on the bottom of the deck, there is going to be a sense of being released from this sense of lack. That the sense of lack won't be burdening the feminine anymore, and for that reason, everything is going to be okay in regards to this connection, because there isn't going to be a need for worry is what I heard. There isn't going to be a need for worry that like you'll come together or not come together. It'll just be like a total release where like one day after a healing or something, like it just pops where you're like, yeah, I'll have eternal love for this person, but I have no need to possess and control them. I just let it go to the winds. And sometimes we think we're there and we're not quite there yet. So that's what I'm saying has happened in the past. But with this world energy coming through, that's what this connection really is getting to, especially the feminine. And that's where it actually needs to be. When I said the feminine, we have the void. So yeah, it's like Sophia to me is like the goddess that springs from the void. Right? And this is big picture thinking. Big picture thinking for this masculine awakening. Right? So I'm kind of getting that like with the void, there is no set future timeline for this person yet, because they have yet to embrace winter, which is that sense of lack again. It's that sense of lack. They have yet to embrace it. They have yet to kind of surrender to it, because that's the whole reason for not coming forward too, is like the fear of lack, but it's also the fear of their own darkness, of their own void energy, of their own divine feminine, because that void energy can manifest in its aggregated form as the demonic. So that's what I'm seeing with the Scorpio energy too, is that this person is fearing their own darkness, but they're beginning to see their own darkness from a bigger place, like from a visionary place, from a hopeful place, with this big picture thinking. Higher Eth also says longing for home, homesick for the stars. So there's two versions of the void here. There's this void that it's like, maybe like it's zoomed in, right, on one particular star, but then when you zoom all the way out, right, everything just looks like a big cluster and a big bundle of stars. So I think that's what, like maybe even like using one of those apps, right, where I'm seeing it's like, look how small Earth is, but then you keep zooming out and zooming out and zooming out and zooming out and be like, oh my god, that tiny little dot is a Milky Way galaxy. Like maybe they have an app like that. This is all about the divine feminine. So they're coming into their own divine feminine energies within, and it's like opposite on this side, this coming into divine masculine on the feminine by having control of anger, having control of the need for control. I guess that's where it actually comes in handy with Scorpio, is like being able to manage one's own depths. Oh my god. That's like, I don't know. I like to like fit in little memes, but it's like that meme that's like, oh my god, cholesterol, or she's looking, it's like 0 milligrams, it says 0 milligrams, and it looks like it says, oh my god. Anyway, that's a Vine. But I don't know why that came through, well, just because of the way I said it, but maybe like there's a need for a sense of humor about faith and spirit, and know that the universe does have a sense of humor. But god, the star keeps coming through, so maybe there's starseed energies, definitely starseed energies, angelic starseed energies, but specifically around realizing that, like, oh my gosh, yeah, I feel connected to higher realms, I feel connected to higher things, I feel called to that. So called to source, called to their own, because there's so much divine feminine energy over here, called to understanding their own origins. Wow, it's like this, there's like a door on this one, a door on this one, and a door on this one. And all of them are facing towards, like all the figures in all of these cards are facing towards this doorway. And this doorway is the rebirth portal of the judgment, right? Going through the halls of the great goddesses, like passing through her archways, like it's almost like actually literally being reborn. So this is since the feminine too is being reborn. It's like, it's also catalyzing, because it's like, yeah, the feminine goes first through the portals, right? But it's beginning to see all of life and earth from a completely new perspective on both sides of this connection. Ooh, see? And then remember that puddle where I said with the eye? That's actually insight too, where you thought that there was only this much water, but then you see the ocean in the background of this card. There's so much more, is what I'm realizing. For wow, doors, 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 doors. Like if you have been having and seeing doors in relation to this connection, doors are opening. It's like open port. So energy work, probably doing a lot of energy work. Probably on both sides, but maybe feminine's magic being a catalyst here is what I'm seeing. Maybe not intentional, but through work on the self, through passing through portals, through like standing in this water, and knowing when to dive into that magical puddle, and knowing when to just stand and be in awe of the beauty that Earth actually is, because we have Earth here and we have the sun here. So solar consciousness is when you kind of just let the joy work its way through and evaporate the pain of the inner child. That's what I'm kind of seeing like happening once you step through the door. Like, it's not necessarily always about diving into the subconscious and the puddle and all of the trials and tribulations and thinking them over and thinking them through and remembering past lives and interpreting your dreams and getting readings. Sometimes it's just about taking a nice bike ride. And that's a doorway, that's a portal to another dimension or another, like, other opportunities. It's been happening to me lately. Also, yeah, that I said that karmic relationship was being dissolved. Here it is. Karmic relationships in reverse. So I really feel like there is this doorway to the higher light, for whatever is for the best and highest good. It's happening. So if that's union, which it most likely is for this connection, if that's union, that is happening, and it's happening on a collective global scale. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of more readings that are like this right now, because I've just been feeling it on a collective level. This is the fucking, this is the crown jewel, the trippy part of this doorway. And because in this, it's like she's looking in the mirror, like she's about to go through it, but it looks like a portal, it looks like a doorway. It's a magic mirror. And that is what's happening with this empathic starseed. I think the masculine is also seeing the smoky mirror. Seeing past the smoky mirror is what I'm getting, or about to see past the smoky mirror, because it's like all of these things feel like they're on the precipice, right? And yeah, it's no longer Earth looking at Earth. It's no longer earthly perspective looking at earthly perspective. It's me looking inside and seeing that everything is a mirror of myself. So it's like this counterpart that you're inquiring about is beginning to see past that earth to earth plane type mentality, physics type mentality where A plus B equals whatever. It's like less logical thinking. And I'm saying less because spirit is logical too in my mind. Like, if you create your own reality, then it's logical to dream big, right? But if everything's just material, then you have to think in small little bits and pieces. So I think dreaming big is kind of a very much so a theme here. And it's all through the looking glass, through the mirror. And so it's definitely being on the precipice of that. And that on the other side of the mirror, though, I'm afraid that I just said I'm afraid. So maybe I am afraid. But on the other side of that mirror is the void. Like, that's what I'm kind of seeing. It's like all these mirrors, all these doorways. And it's not like every single card in this deck has mirrors and doorways, as you can see. But like almost every single card here has some kind of mirror or doorway. And what this card says, it leads home. This card says it leads to the void. So I think that when it says embrace winter, like, be okay if you jump from the other side of the door and nothing happens in the material plane right away. Stop and embrace the sensation and feeling of home. And that home is, it's like God, like, what are they saying about God's holy land, the kingdom of God, the reward. It is a reward for holding that vibration and having faith in the divine no matter what. That is what you're being rewarded for giving yourself happiness before qualifying it and quantifying it on a specific thing. All right, yeah. And on that note, what specific things have you been hanging your hat on? I'm just blown away by all these doors. Okay, Doors of Perception. Some of you might be a fan of the Doors or be getting messages through songs by the Doors, that band. Okay. Let me coalesce a little bit with these cards. Let me get them to like do the thing. Also, yeah, this has been kind of a long reading, but we're going to get one final message, okay? So, manifest. There it is. And then one more card. Manifest sadness and isolation. Okay. So what they're trying to help you to understand is that this inner child needs joy, playtime, fun, because that is part of what's happening here. Yeah, because it's like opportunity beckons. I'm hearing the opportunity, take opportunities as you're offered them. Go with the flow of life. Because if you've been trying so hard to manifest, but then 555, yeah, you need to take that 5 energy forward. Because like, I just keep getting drawn to the solar energy, the fire energy, the heart energy. And you need to ask your heart what things are bringing you joy, what things that you want to do, and welcome connection with anyone, not just the twin. And that welcoming and opening of the heart and connection and asking the heart what it wants to do and following that path of joy is essentially what leads you to this inner union and manifest inner union. And it is realizing that taking action on your manifestations doesn't mean taking action towards what you want necessarily. It just means taking action towards what feels good and being in the vortex. Okay, so that is your message, group number 1. If you enjoyed this message, like, share, subscribe. And if you would like to get a personal reading, visit my website. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi there, group 2. So right now, Somewhere Over the Rainbow is playing on the downstairs speakers. So I'm really feeling like there is this longing, but it's like she's singing this at the beginning of the movie, right? And then she gets taken on this whirlwind. There's an entire deck called the Inner Child deck that's based on, it has one card that specifically talks about how spiritual awakening is like when Dorothy gets swept up in the tornado and then gets brought to this other world somewhere over the rainbow. And, yeah, it's like, why can't I? If birds fly over the rainbow, then why can't I? So there's a sense of like growing your wings here, getting your wings. And for me, that means opening the heart space, so specifically towards receiving love from the divine. And that's what I feel like that song really is all about, and that's why it makes me cry. So, let's pause, and take a moment to talk about these crystals, yeah? So, this is my pyramid, and I'm specifically drawn to where I dropped and cracked it. So, a need to forgive yourself for your mistakes is happening here, and also, that's kind of like that why me energy. It's like I'm also touching this other pyramid, which is my warding off EMFs and stuff pyramid. So you could be really sensitive and long for a place where you're truly understood. Wow, 1717. So these are from the last reading. I forgot to turn them back to their original setting. But this is big. This is an angel number. And this number kept getting rolled in the last reading. So it's the connecting energy, faith. So, okay. 2 and 11. So this is 2, 2, because 11 reduces to a 2. So I'm seeing that faith that you will be treated well is coming through for this connection. And that is on both sides. Dreams are coming through, so there could be dreams. I'm just getting this energy of like, don't touch from the crystal right now. So I'm like getting like dreams where there's that, almost like that feeling of injustice and paranoia and weird unspoken things. And like, that is your subconscious transmuting though. So let's also do a bit of that transmuting by Urakana tiriani wenhenia the stekorikana Motakana katakana nyanyane burakania marhana yauriania the shiny Mogangaraka yingara tatriane ona shania totriania ungrena ye buyana yod Moyatakanayane shoradi. this is really interesting and cute vision. So I saw the pentacle, which is like the 5, the star in the pentacle. So it's the star, but it's also it's faith about material, about finances, about health, about the body, faith about opportunities being presented to you, and getting help to like getting like gifts and stuff like that, or assistance. Because I also saw a peony opening by itself, which is important to understand. It's like by itself, even though the peony is notorious for needing help from the ants, and ants represent community and hard work. So there's something about like big communities and hard work and like egalitarianism and all working together, equal exchange, gift economies, and like a natural flow, like the natural flow of the gift economy. So maybe you or your person, some of you are really involved in that already, of like communities, farms, holy land, seeking holy land, being on holy land, and or like big gatherings. There's going to be a big one at Shasta, so maybe some of you are going to that one, or down in the name is escaping me, so I'm probably not supposed to say it, but you may know. Anyways, there's that sense of big gathering and the peony being open. So the peony is like our collective love, is what I'm saying, and you understand your role in that, but you've been acting like this ant, right? But I saw this huge white cat come out with this mischievous look on its face and be looking at the ants and just playing, like paws on the ground, playing with the ants. And that must be terrifying for the ants. But as a human, you're like standing so tall above that and you're kind of laughing, right? Maybe not if you're an empath. You're probably like, oh, stop bothering the ants. But what I'm really getting is it's like perspectives, all these different perspectives, all these different roles. So I'm seeing you shift into a different role, especially if you've been in a role of like, why does this shit always happen to me? Like you're the ant, but you're the human. Like humans are like gods. And that's something we don't realize about ourselves, is that we are like gods, especially to those wee little creatures. And that is why it's so special when we treat them with gentleness, kindness. I'm looking at this butterfly, and I'm seeing that's how tender and gentle you need to treat yourself, as like this tiny little butterfly right now. Because your big dreams are coming to fruition. It's like, I just saw like a Merkaba, but it was like not a traditional, it was like a diamond shaped Merkaba. Some of you will know what that means. Others, I just feel like it's like, shine bright like a diamond. The needing to express and sing soulfully and hear music and be in that music is a huge part of the healing here. And this doesn't want to come off of this deck. Not now. There's this sense of this particular individual being guarded, and it's definitely the feminine. So let's look here. Could be a playful masculine here too. Ooh, love. Okay, so first of all, that being the first card out, some of you needed confirmation. Does this person love you? Yes. Are they your twin flame? Yes. The tree of life, the connection to the fairy realms as well. Yes. This is the past energy as well, since it's the first card out. No, actually they're saying it's the now energy because they wanted me to put it in the center. So let's look at the past. Ooh, dancing with the dragon. Wow. So that's that tornado energy, right? When I was talking about Dorothy and the rainbow is a rainbow dragon. So the connectivity of all things, but it's like awakening of this connection was like a Kundalini erection. I almost said erection, but like erection, like, sorry. Anyways, back to what I was saying. There was an energy of fear previously in this connection. Be compassionate. They're telling me this is the future energy. So it goes from fearing each other to being compassionate for each other and from each other. Worry not. Sinpaisana. So this card is talking about how this inner child energy fears anger, fears attack of the little kitten, like being the ant, fearing the attack of the... So it's also understanding your person's nature. as maybe being the cat or somebody being the cat, because the cat is usually divine feminine energy, right? And the dragon is also divine feminine energy. But this energy, it has a 5 of Cups energy to me, but it also has, it more so resonates with a message as 6 of Cups. So it's like going from the 5 to the 6. This is like 5 energy. This is also like 5 energy, 5 of Cups. Kind of like 5 of Wands. Oh my God. And I just dropped my selenite stick. So some shit just dropped. Like, you know when they say that something's going to go down? That's like how it feels. Oh, ego. Yeah. So it could be that there was fighting, ego, fear, but not from a bad place is what I'm hearing. Just from a place of needing to defend oneself against a perceived threat based on a role. With the 19, it's the inner child. With 10, so it's karmic energy from your child, from your inner child. But okay, this is all stuff we all know. But this is what I'm saying. It's like, you need to be able to remember that in every moment that you think about this connection. Remember that there was love even when all this stuff was going on, okay? And that Kuan Yin energy, the goddess of compassion and forgiveness, is coming in the future. Now, what else is coming in? Ooh, light switch. Okay, so some of you have seen this symbol. They want me to activate it silently while we meditate together for a second. Okay. I don't know if y'all felt that, but I felt a lot of heat all around my body and in my hands. So there is this Kundalini rising energy all the way to the crown. So it started here on the bottom with this orange flower. It started here on the bottom, yeah, initiation, attunement. And then it says female and family. So it's like in this card, she's looking over at, wow, and then we have Ona, male. So it's like some of you might have a family with your twin. For a very few of you, like you've been together for a long time and you've had this, and your family hubris from your past really mirrors the hubris that you had together. So that is something to be said. And some of you have had kind of like the ruined marriage energy is coming through. 11 and 3. So yeah, some of you there was children involved. Some of you had a band together. So if not like a family, like some of you had like a band together or an art project together. We have 3, which is the Empress, so I can really see that. And 11, again, yeah, some of you were married. Some of you wanted to get married and it didn't end up getting married. Some of you were just talking about marriage because this person wanted to wife you, like for real. And they still do. For some of them, they still do. For others, it's more like they, especially if you have children together, they want this lightness to come. From a real place of forgiveness, right? From a real place of compassion, like, okay, I get you, I understand where you're coming from. And not from like, oh, you's a fuckboy or whatever. Yeah, some of them want to be friends first. Friends with loving touch. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that doesn't necessarily mean sex. For some, it can just mean hugs, cuddles. They just want to be near you. And also, the kids, the energy of the kids awakening, too, I just heard. But there's this energy of lack of faith in terms of like this family unit or the children, or the fear of that children are being raised with a lack of faith. Or maybe that faith was kind of imposed in childhood for some of you. That real religious type faith. Because we have Buddha coming through here. Some of you are Buddhist or were Buddhist. 16 reverse. So lovers, like there's still love here is what they're trying to say. And that is like, that is eternal, that eternal love. But that love is what catalyzes. That love is what awakens. Change in consciousness. There it is. So change, 16, the tower is all about change in consciousness. But this is awakening through love. Right? It's not necessarily like a huge lightning bolt with a tower in reverse. It is lightning bolt of inspiration and knowledge. This light switch. So this light switch actually has a lightning bolt almost like energy. But it's like almost like a very gentle lightning bolt. That's how it kind of feels with Aquarian energy. or fire sometimes, fire energy. Especially dragon I associate with Leo or Aries specifically. Especially if you have a Virgo Libra cusp. They want me to do from this deck now. Mother Earth in reverse. Sister Fire. There's like a tiger over her shoulder too. So it's like those lion dragons. Lion turtles. Okay, Flameless Spirit in reverse. There's just like a heavy energy on this deck. Right now because they told me that there were some heavy energies in the collective, so that I cleansed and activated these decks prior to the reading, but they like the deck, I feel like it's heavy because it's carrying a heavy message for a lot of people that need to hear it right now. So don't be afraid of the message or the energy of this deck, okay? Yeah. This is the wound of the feminine, of the young girl who feels in the cage of rage, of others, of family, of the mother who was not nurturing and not protective. So for others, their protection was like a cage, or their closeness to their mother was like a cage. Courage in the reverse. Yeah, this is about dropping your walls with Seven of Wands. We also have Leo energy. We have Mars energy. For some of you, this is about being your own mom. Having the courage to stand up and be a queen without having your walls up. Resurrection. And then we have the Emperor. So we have the Emperor and Empress with resurrection, with Force in reverse. It's like, okay, yeah, union could be coming in some form or fashion of like physical union too, with these two cards coming out, 3 cards I should say, a reconciliation, but it has to come through seeing from the higher perspective always, of course, but that higher perspective, it's a human perspective in the vision, right? Because like we have all the animal perspectives on the ground, so it's like, it's weird because it's like seeing from a human perspective is actually the higher perspective. Seeing yourself as a human, seeing yourself as it's okay that I'm flawed, it's okay that they're flawed. That's what I'm seeing come through. And also, can't force the process of healing from this connection. I can't force myself to heal. That's kind of like what it feels like with this Mother Earth energy standing here in a pool of healing water. The Moon in reversed. This is not being able to see in the dark. This is not being able to see the light of spirit in the dark, and okay, they want me to use this deck because I just bombed it. They just showed me a bowl of cereal, like Cheerios. This is about being able to provide too. So if you have kids, like a lot of this may be, oh, I need to provide. They want this one. Health. Providing health. Providing wealth and health with this Kenko health. They want me to read from the book for that. So real quick, I'm just going to grab it. There. I really like the packaging for that deck. Okay. So some review toning is going to help. You're going to need some toning to kind of like clear the energy here. I'm really getting that if you clear the energy, that will help you. So this isn't the future position too, since it's the last card I'm pulling. On the right, the Inquirer may need a physical checkup or may need to work on healing some physical issues. And I am hearing it's with the spiritual toning, with the music. From above, the Inquirer can heal with counseling methods. It is kind of at the top of the reading. From below, an Inquirer needs to stabilize and ground his energy in order to heal. I'm seeing that it's like yes to kind of like all of these. On the left, the Inquirer has been working on health issues. There are some issues that really, really need, like Earth really needs right now. It needs to not be afflicted because with Sister Fire, there's a lot of pushing forward. Some people may be a fire sign in this reading, especially like I said, like a Virgo Libra cusp or Leo cusp. Some of you are Libra because I said that. But I'm just getting with Flame of Spirit in the reverse, and that's like the happy home and union card. That's like, yes, union is possible here, but like wanting it to be healthy for whatever situation is going on in your life. The Ken Cow card represents the inquirer's health. Ken Cow is the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and social well-being came up. And not merely the absence of disease or medical condition. Health is being able to feel good and having a life of mobility, enjoyment, social relationships, optimistic expectations, and optimal individualized fitness so that one lives a full and creative life. I'm hearing just play if you've been out of shape for a while. Just kind of move around and dance. Our mental health is just as important. Keep your mind, your thoughts positive, and learn to discipline your mind. Keep your body in good health by sending it love and gratitude every day. Remember, it is the temple in which your soul resides in this lifetime. So that last phrase, sent out, your soul resides in this lifetime. I'm hearing for your own health and your own mental health especially, that some of you, all of you, regardless of the situation, need to accept this reality of maybe we don't come into union in this lifetime. Some of you needed to hear that. Others of you are really calling in a resurrection of, hey, see how they're like kind of gray here? And it's like they're together and they're just kind of like touching each other's like base chakra. That's what the connection touched before. It was like really Kundalini and base chakra and sexual. But this is through the heart. It evolves into being through the heart that you connect. And that's what I'm really getting for this connection, is that it's like, to be healthy, for this connection to be healthy, that it has to come from a place of compassion, and that it really is all about, well, okay, so we have wealth on the bottom of the deck. It is about feeling abundant and valuable in one's self, and feeling that your body is a valuable asset to you, and mothering your own body on a very physical level, which may take time to integrate into your schedule. It can't be forced. So the healing can't be forced. Don't shit on yourself for not being able to do all healthy things all the time, like with that bowl of Cheerios. And yeah, expect less from yourself. Put more bullshit aside. Compartmentalize things. This card wants to be seen too underneath. It's this one. Manifesting grid. So this is that same light switch symbol again, but for the world. And so it's like healing yourself is healing the world. Some of you are activists. Some of you really put out that energy of like going and being a savior for the world or whatever, and really want to change consciousness, blog about consciousness or something like that. Blog about politics. What I'm really seeing here is that you see how when you switch the light in yourself, how it changes the world. And that's the purpose of the divine connection, is to unblock and unlock aspects of yourself, specifically the divine feminine aspect right now. They want me to channel one last light language for you. Hana yithinikia no yana yegi warakatayana warihini adishtini yakanakara ni orakatariani orana yane orana yane orana yane orana yane orana yane organi akwarakayangwarakari. They're showing me that the tornado is this spiral, and that's what it is. It's like when the Kundalini comes up, your aura is spinning fast. And that is what creates all these situations in your life, is it's a fast spinning aura. So if you want to slow down karmic manifestations, look to slowing down and calming down your own vortex. Because I'm hearing we're always in the vortex. We just like control the rate at which the vortex is spinning. 2222 when I said that. So that is the last message that I am going to give you for this reading. If you're interested in a private session, obviously visit the description and my website. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.